Hello, this is Danny Raymond, the voice behind Ray's Guide. The big news in this free fly event has been an explosion of cheating, and not just the garden variety item duping and money duping, which certainly has been included in the mix, but also some really hugely consequential things like invulnerability, instant kills, and mass server extinctions. And I held back on saying anything because there wasn't anything to say that wasn't already obvious. This cheating is bad, that CIG must do something about it, that it's hurting the game. Yeah, all quite obvious. But now, CIG, Skelting specifically, has issued a statement about what they have done, so there is something specifically worth commenting on. First, I'll read the statement in its entirety before discussing it line by line. Hi everyone, we've observed a recent increase in exploits and cheating in-game and want to acknowledge everyone who's taken their time to report these issues. It's genuinely appreciated. Historically, we've taken a more relaxed approach to third-party tools. This was intentional, allowing space for community-driven efforts like localization, VR integrations, and other creative contributions. However, with our growing player base and increased engagement, we reached a new threshold, one where exploiters see greater opportunity in targeting the game. In response to the recent spike in abuse, we'll be tightening our anti-cheat measures to better protect both the integrity of the game and the experience for the broader community that continues to shape it. While we won't be sharing specifics, we want to reassure you that our recent updates have already made a substantial impact. We've also issued a large wave of account bans and will continue to take enforcement actions as needed. To be clear, exploiting or cheating is strictly against our terms regardless of the intent or the current stage of development. We understand some users may be experimenting, acting out of curiosity, or believe they're helping expose issues. But even these actions can be disruptive and damaging to the game. This behavior can lead to serious consequences, up to and including permanent account closure. We'll continue monitoring the situation and taking whatever steps are necessary to ensure fair play. Thanks again for continuing to report issues as they arise. So now getting into the items specifically. Hi everyone, we've observed a recent increase in exploits and cheating in-game and want to acknowledge everyone who's taken their time to report these issues. This is a good point. The one thing that you can do is to have that QR code up in the corner and having software like OBS running. Yes, it can take up quite a lot of space, but when something does go wrong, it is hugely helpful to have a dash cam footage to show it. Of course, you can always delete the recording if nothing noteworthy happens. Historically, we've taken a more relaxed approach to third-party tools. This was intentional, allowing space for community-driven efforts like localization, VR integrations, and other creative contributions. Sorry, but this sounds more lazy than intentional. If you really wanted to create community-driven efforts, you create an API or a URL to a data feed. You grant an access key to the legit community tool makers and invalidate the key if it is misused. This is not a new idea, but just leaving the door open because you think everyone outside are nice people wanting to only do nice things is naive. However, with our growing player base and increased engagement, we reached a new threshold, one where exploiters see greater opportunity in targeting the game. This sounds like it is sort of an unexpected or unanticipated event, but really it has to do with something very specific, the introduction of very exclusive high-prestige quest items that can only be won by many hours of one particular form of advanced gameplay, one that not everyone is good at. These kind of items encourage cheating for those who want the prestige, but for whom it is difficult to reach, and others to cheat in order to sell to those who are willing to just put up a big pile of UEC, and others to cheat to have that big pile of UEC to pay the person selling the prestige item that they also cheated to get. And it is hard to get on a high horse about the ethics of all this and the purity of the gameplay experience when you can buy an upgraded Idris for $2,000 from CIG. The other factor, of course, is the occurrence of the free fly event, which allows a lot of people to create accounts to test cheats with minimal exposure. In response to the recent spike in abuse, we'll be tightening our anti-cheat measures to better protect both the integrity of the game and the experience for the broader community that continues to shape it. But here's the thing. Whatever the increase in cheating threat exposure we are seeing now, it is nothing, absolutely nothing compared to the increase that we see when you drop the alpha label and call this a fully released game where wipes are no longer a thing to be expected in the future. So this needs to be much more than a just tightening in response, but rather a realization that a truly comprehensive set of anti-cheat protections, detections, and responses is a primary prerequisite for 1.0. CIG can't regard Star Citizen to be good enough for 1.0 simply because they have enough measures for the current level of cheater interest. While we won't be sharing specifics, we want to reassure you that our recent updates have already made a substantial impact. Well, maybe sharing some of the more generals then would be appreciated, since this is also an issue of reassuring the broad player base, and the trust gap has truly been hurt by these cheaters just as much as the technical challenge. The general player base feels a bit naked, and not just because everything got looted. We've also issued a large wave of account bans and will continue to take enforcement actions as needed. But a legitimate question might be how effective an account ban can be at the Free Fly event, when clearly much of the cheating was being done by bots on throwaway Free Fly accounts. In fact, the whole thing about bans clearly has a whack-a-mole aspect to it. So the thought needs to be to control the breeding of new moles, rather than just getting better at finding and whacking them. That means an effort given to making it difficult or expensive to breed another mole. Some have suggested hardware ID banning, but hardware ID spoofing software is readily available. Others have suggested IP address bans, but with NAT and VPNs, a single public-facing IP address might be serving an entire university. My suggestion involves making Free Fly accounts a little less freely given. Right now, you pretty much only need an email address to create an RSI account, easily obtained, and you only need an RSI account to get into a Free Fly. Instead, require a two-factor authentication to the email to complete creating the account, but instead a two-factor authentication to an SMS address to authenticate the login. Then make the Free Fly actually be a $0 purchase against a credit, debit, or other payment card, so you can verify that the card, including the expiration date and the CVV. Then when it comes time to ban a cheater, you don't just ban that account, but any account with the same SMS number, the same payment card, and the same address as the payment card. And those things go into a blacklist file against future reuse of them. So to create a genuinely unattached new account in the Whack-A-Mole game, you would need to create a new email address, a new burner phone number, a new payment card number, and a new address tied to it. So quite a hassle. And all that goes into a scoring algorithm, so a bunch of accounts all coming from the same email provider, same mail provider, and same debit card provider all together would be flagged as suspicious. That makes it a lot harder for the cheaters to make more moles in this whack-a-mole game. To be clear, exploiting or cheating is strictly against our terms, regardless of the intent or the current stage of development. We understand some users may be experimenting, acting out of curiosity, or believe they're helping expose issues. But even these actions can be disruptive and damaging to the game. This behavior can lead to serious consequences, up to and including permanent account closure. But you can't just look at this as account closure. You have to look at it as closing out the person behind the account. We'll continue monitoring the situation and taking whatever steps are necessary to ensure fair play. Thanks again for continuing to report issues as they arise. And I'll keep monitoring their monitoring. Now for an update on our ship giveaways. There's a video contest ending when the September release goes live for the Asgard or the Guardian MX. Then our big CitizenCon Direct Watch Party in October, where we'll be giving away the winner's choice of the Erasta or Banu Merchantman. And then the IAE Week giveaway for the Starlancer Max. One entry per video on the latter two. Be a member for automatic entry or subscribe and comment with the secret word. And the secret word for this video is what the CIG need to make harder to breed a new one of. Fly safe, keep it real, and I'll see you in the verse. This is Danny Raymond with Ray's Guide.
And he's different. It begins.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.